r/AskReddit question people who downloaded their Google data and went through it. What were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? That there is a map of everywhere I went in the last couple of years that's accurate to the hour.
Google Maps your timeline. Easily one of the most useful features. I've used it countless times to prove I wasn't overbilling. I found mine too. Gives me chills.
Can we all put this same question next week when everyone has received their information?
This is the one time I hope a duplicate question makes it to hot. I checked mine and it's a bore fest. No audios. Pics that I already knew I had there. No porn searches. If anything, it reminded me how much of a big dork I am. I tried. It died and new.
There's an audio recording of me saying, "Check the Jewish boy's penis." I don't remember ever saying that, but okay.
I'd never admit to that on the internet, either, buddy. Probably young you were curious about circumcised penises. How the F did you found audio?
I'm the vice president of a company that I've never heard of and can't find any other info on it.
Congrats on the promotion, bro. Congrats on the promotion, bro. That may be serious identity theft. That company may be used for illegal activities using your personal information to open credit cards, for example. Edit. I'm not saying Google never freaks up. I just think that this should be looked into.
I got drunk once and proceeded to get lost on the way home, ending up cycling on some highway. For 2 years I wondered where the hell I had been until I saw Google's location history for that night.
I just found out I did fricking go to McDonald's in the middle of the night at my mate's birthday party without anyone fricking noticing, and they were telling me I was just passed out the whole time. Google knows more than you. I routinely refer to my location history. You can view it on Maps Online by choosing your timeline from the menu. It's helpful when I have client meetings for work and I forget to track the travel time, or if I'm trying to remember what restaurant we went to for our anniversary last year.
Apparently I sleepwalked thousands of kilometers and then managed to get back home in time for work. Also a bunch of recordings of my computer's fan spinning. But well, at least they got me on the fetish porn searches. Google. Hyped up Google. Incompetent Google. I know my data is in good hands. Edit. Found a fart.
You sleepwalk thousands of kilometers. I have questions. They stored your incognito porn searches or just your regular browser porn searches? So do I. But the most likely answer is just Google messing up with whatever it uses to track a user's location. Google messes up all the time.
Kill Ron Swanson had it freaking right.
Erase all pictures of Ron. This makes me want to go off the grid. Erase all pictures of Ron.
My activity is empty. It has been for a long time. So, there shouldn't be anything for me to download. Right? Nope. 6 gigabytes of data.
Email, Google Drive, etc. Thank you for this elaboration. I'd gone through a lot of this thread and checked out my activity to find absolutely nothing beyond you read ads, and was warily beginning to think things were all right. Short of nuking the account, there's not much to be done though. Right.
Mine is 10 gigabytes. Holy shit, it's gonna take a while to download. It is an old account, but I have all activity paused except YouTube watch history. So I'm really interested to see why it's so large.
Emails, attachments, drive, etc. Emails, attachments, drive, etc. How many accounts do you have that weren't actually set up by you?
Their profile claims I like Chinese rap. I have no idea why, other than one video I came across in the YouTube rabbit hole.
I have this problem with air conditioner repair videos in Korean. No idea why Google thinks I speak Korean or why my air conditioner needs repair. You are now a moderator of our China. It probably predicts that at some point you'll start liking on it based upon your previous listens. Most likely correlated from other users with similar tastes.
I don't get how Google is recording secret conversations that can be stored and viewed. I thought this was exclusive to Google Voice searches and commands, which are approved by the user in settings. How are these candid conversations being recorded and stored, and how can you view them?
How can it know whether you said, "Okay Google," without recording and analyzing what you said? How can it know whether you said, "Okay Google," without recording and analyzing what you said? I just checked my recordings history, and all my recordings are only from voice searches. I'm also interested to know how other people have what appears to be just random conversations recorded.
I did this a while back and it's basically nothing. Only a few gigs worth of GPS data and some voice recordings back when I had my Galaxy S3 and I wanted to try Google Assistant when it came out. I did get a good chuckle out of half my voice recordings being "Okay Google, go frick yourself," quote, in my squeaky younger voice. It's not unsettling, but I found out that Google can tell when I'm driving a car vs my motorcycle by using the gyroscopes in my phone.
There are several ways to do that. For example, if you are on a road with a bit of traffic and Google, based on your GPS, sees that you are moving while everyone else is stationary, it doesn't take much to figure out that you're probably not driving a car.
Kill that you can do that. BRB soon after I go through mine.
This post was probably in light of the news post 4 days ago about Google tracking your data. I remember the thread with people discovering you could download that data. Can you delete said data, asking for a friend that has a crippling hentai addiction? In theory, yes. That is to say, there's a delete button. It only applies to your raw data, though. Anything they've derived, profiling data, is theirs, not yours.
Definitely the voice recordings. That should be turned off by default instead of needing to be changed by the user.
How do you change it so it doesn't record you? Lol. I checked my entire history of voice recordings and it was just me trying the Lumix Maxima and Nox commands and nothing else. Apparently I already turned it off and I forgot I did. What shouldn't the only recordings my Google account has of me be me training it to recognize me saying, "Hey Google."
All phone activity. Opened app. Closed app etc. From the very first day I owned my phone. Constant check of my GPS. Constant check of my device orientation. If someone steals your Google account, they basically can find out everything there is to find out about you. Not the Google, but hopefully on topic. I have downloaded my data from Facebook, and the most shocking one was a recorded phone conversation of about 30 minutes long. It was dated back around 57 years ago. And most surprisingly, it was not even me who was speaking and I could not even recognize who it was. Edit. As many people ask about how to download your Facebook data, I adhere to Tutu's comment. Facebook settings, your Facebook information, access your information, download. Edit 2. Wow. My first silver. Thank you, kind stranger.
That is terrifying. Mind if I ask how you downloaded your Facebook data? I'm kinda fine with Google storing my data. But as for Facebook, I use it just to message everyone and to store memories of my GF and me going to see some movies or a new restaurant. As soon I found out that them blue feckers are recording my private phone calls, I had the app removed. The fact that your phone can record things without you knowing that will be stored forever is freaking terrifying. As for the part that you don't know the voice, I guess that you could have forgotten said person. Or it was recording something when you weren't in the room.
Audio recordings titles are generic and serialized, so make sure to take some precautions before listening to them in front of your family or randoms. Please don't make my mistake. Hey Google, how do I increase my penis size? Girlfriend staring at me.
Was it your voice or hers? I feel so bad for you, man. Why, that's definitely a I can't take anything bigger stare.
My purchase history on websites like eBay, Amazon and other companies that, I guess, all sell their data about me to Google. I hardly had no idea of it, and although I share things like my location to Google, seeing my purchases is kind of scary because I never allowed it.
If you use Gmail for confirmation emails, they can recognize them and store the purchase data. Same for reservations, tickets, etc. I started having notifications pop up on my phone. Pissed. Your $50 power bill is due on Friday. And for the life of me, I had no idea how Google knew that till suddenly it hit me. Power company sends me an email when my bill is due to my Gmail account. It's like instead of Big Brother, it's Big Mother. Yeah, this all started for me when I got a confirmation email for movie tickets I bought online. Shortly after that, Google took the liberty of putting the movie on my calendar, but only blocked out an hour for it.
Hardly anything was saved. I'm very picky in what I allow an app to access. Sometimes a limited function is annoying, but it seems it pays off.
How do we know that they care our permission? What if there is a way larger data out there we can't even see? What if there is a way larger data out there we can't even see? Possible in the US. But the EU would gladly butt for Google if that was the case.
My first ever Google search was, "What is a chicken?" and the second was, "Are chickens real?"
It's crazy to think there are now generations of people young enough who can track back the entire history of their lives through third-party collected data.
So many drunken audios, like, not even meant for the phone. Just background talking while, most of the times, very drunk. It was half unsettling, half fun to listen to them. Apparently when you press the microphone on the keyboard, I think it's for changing audio to text, it gets sent to Google. And apparently my drunken ass is very prone to misclick it. So how do I fix this? Can I delete it?
There's an option to delete everything if you log into your account, but I'm not naive enough to believe that it actually deletes it from Google's servers.
Opus gathering the data that Google gathered to sell to corporations to sell them to other corporations. Wow, mine is seriously boring. Nothing juicy.
I hope my mine is boring. Same. Somehow I was kinda hoping there would be something invasive or even mildly interesting. Well, you can make it happen. Instead of searching for pictures of cats, be more specific. Start typing long stories that further explain your circumstances and reasons. Ask some questions. Be open about your feelings and needs. Don't forget to be polite. Use proper form. And thank Google for always looking out for you.
I feel like I should have more of a problem with Google having my data, especially voice recordings. But after going through what they had, it's like 400 recordings of me saying make some coffee, play X on Netflix and turn off the lights. Maybe it's a bigger problem for people that use their assistants for more than home control.
Google timer for 10 minutes. Google timer for 20 minutes. Google wake me up at 9 a.m. Google sent a message to my mom saying what's for dinner. I only use it for turn on flashlight, turn off flashlight. Mine would be more like, okay Google, wake me up at 6:30. Okay Google, wake me up at 6:45. Okay Google, wake me up in 5 minutes. Okay Google, wake me up in 3 minutes. Okay Google, wake me up in 1 minute. Okay Google, wake me up in 1 minute.
Nice. It appears that I deactivated the whole voice thing when I first got my phone. It was paused when I opened the settings and there was no activity for me to review. I have now deactivated personalized ads and that's it. The two things Google is allowed to track are my YouTube view and search history. How do you do that?
Am I paranoid for thinking that they make it this complicated because they don't actually want people to see this? Am I paranoid for thinking that they make it this complicated because they don't actually want people to see this? I'm trying to find it. Where do I go after the link you posted?
Shit man, I don't wanna know.
Check anyway. You not knowing doesn't mean it isn't happening. It's better to know and take precautions than sit in ignorance. 1. Being scared is temporary. Google collecting your data, on the other hand. No. Schrodinger's data. If you don't download it, Google both and don't have that data on you. Once you download it, you collapse the wave function and they definitely have it.
Shit, my account is like over 14 years old. I wonder how long the archive process will take. Thanks op. Real thanks, not a sarcastic one. Edit. 24 hours in. Still HASNT finished building the archive lel. Says it could take days.
You're welcome. Just don't get too freaked out if you find your teenage cringy and embarrassing searches stored forever. Thankfully it will be from 17 years of age and up. So few. Now if I could get my MySpace data, that would be some cringe lol.
I just found out Google data was a thing today and checked mine earlier. What are the odds I see this post right now? X-Files theme plays in background. All I know is I definitely can't run for public office.
You might be surprised. Yeah, the bar hasn't just been lowered recently, it's been melted, bent, and buried.
Google knows every location I've been to for the last couple of months. They stored multiple audio files of me talking to colleagues and friends, and worst of all, I did not know they were doing that. My mind is blown and I am terrified. My private information is no one's business. Google. Also, thanks for spreading awareness. Op. Have some poor man's gold sports medal.
And it's not just your own phone that's recording you. That's why you have to be as unpredictable as possible to confuse the companies and slowly drive away your friends and family as you devolve into an incoherent, babbling-brained troglodyte. But hey, Google has no idea who or what you are. Hee. Once again I'm ahead of the curve.
I downloaded the Facebook data, and they store every single call's date, length, and the phone number of the other side. What I made in the past. If something is free, you are the product. Reddit on Reddit.
They also had copies of text messages to IRC. Facebook data is terrifying to look through. To even have every picture sent in any conversation is scary. I joined a chat once that turned into an 18+ nude sharing thing. So now I just have all these random nudes from around the world sitting in that data after being in that group for less than 2 days. Awesome work, Facebook. So much trust us.
Now I'm afraid I don't need 12,500 hours of sound recordings of me beating my dick like it owes me money. I'm a web designer and I can tell you that the scariest shit is not what they have on you. It's how they get that info.
That is true. Browser fingerprinting is from the devil. Your combination of browser operating system update version, Ramadans, etc. gives them a fairly unique set of data points to identify you by, even as your IP address changes over time, and even if you aren't logging into accounts linked to your identity.
Voice and search. Deleted and turned off every single setting under the activity control except YouTube. Couldn't really care less about it now. Whenever I played back in OK Google, there was some sound before I say OK Google recorded. It's kinda creepy, and I hope the operation of data is all offline until an OK Google is detected.
Audio is processed offline internally until the phone recognizes an OK Google command. Similar with Alexa, Siri, and all other assistants. It'd be an insane data load if all audio would be transmitted to a server all the time. Most likely the entire Ring buffer is sent to Google when it notices an OK Google. Depending on the size of the buffer, it might send a small snippet of audio before the actual command as well.
I was actually surprised how small amount of info they had aside from the obvious. I have disabled everything that possibly you can think. But yeah, that was few years ago. IDK now. I'm surprised Google hasn't sent social services for how often I search for some stuff. Google has a clip of me asking for a boneless pizza. Just requested it. Kinda scat NGL.
Mine said it will probably take a few days. That can't be good, right? They doing this SpongeBob brain thing to wipe everything after too many requests. Please note that archives may take a long time, hours or possibly days, to create. It's a generic message and doesn't necessarily mean yours will take that long.
Random voice clips when I absolutely hadn't activated Google Assistant. The one that felt weirdest was a random clip from when I was babysitting and reprimanding a child for misbehaving. Very unsettling.